Let's talk about the Tunguska Event of 1908, which is a subject that I get to talk about with a big smile on my face because we've got no evidence that it actually killed anyone. In fairness, this happened at a period of history in a part of the world that wasn't particularly good at keeping records of people living there in the first place, so people might have died, but if they did, we got no record of it. Now, the Tunguska Event of 1908, this is, we think, and we have enough evidence in order to infer this, that it came about as a result of something called an airburst. Now think of something like a meteorite or an asteroid or a comet or something like this. Now, when you think or picture a meteorite impact, this is fairly easy to picture. They've made enough bloody films about it, so you should be able to picture it by now. Deep impact, Armageddon, etc. Just a piece of extraterrestrial material or non-terrestrial material making contact with the continental crust or the oceanic crust. Meteorite, fairly easy to picture. However, an airburst, this is different. When we have something like comet, asteroid, meteorite, doesn't quite make its way all the way through our atmosphere. Because of this egregious change in pressure and temperature, it detonates above the surface. Now, I want you to picture this. It's not a pleasant thing to picture, but again, they've made enough films about this for you to be able to do it coherently. Think of a nuclear weapon. When we launch something like an ICBM, which is an intercontinental ballistic missile, these detonate above the surface of the ground as opposed to hitting the city that it's pointed at. And they do this for good reason, because it's more devastating. So an airburst has the potential to be more devastating than if it actually hit the ground. Now in 1908, which is sort of pre-revolution Russia, this happened, we think, above Tunguska, area of central Siberia, which is this massive swathe of land east of the Ural Mountains. I'll stick a map up for you. And again, this is inside the largest country in the world, 6 million contiguous square miles of landmass, and it devastated, think 2,000 kilometers or square kilometers of space, forest territory. And one of the reasons we can infer that this is an airburst is because what it did to the woodland is it pushed everything outwards. If you've ever been to somewhere like Mount St. Helens, for example, and seen the byproduct of what's happened to the trees as they've all been sort of pushed over in one direction, think of this in every other direction radially from a central mass. This is the Tunguska Event. 2,000 square kilometers of just wasted territory that fortunately, if anyone did live there, it wasn't enough people for anyone to actually write down. Now, this happened in 1908. It racked the Earth twice. It was picked up on barometers twice. So this massive airburst was picked up on barometers around the world and racked the planet twice. But nobody really knew what was going on because, again, this is pre-revolutionary Russia, and this is a very difficult part of the world to get to. This happened in 1908. People didn't actually get to study this until 1921 because nobody could bloody get there. Now, I want you to visualize this for a minute. If this happened today over Tokyo or New York or Paris or Berlin or, God forbid, Milton Keynes, imagine no concrete cows, no roundabouts, no salt shack. There would be nothing left. So although this was perhaps one of the most devastating things to have ever happened in recorded history, fortunately, it happened in the most convenient place it probably could have happened, which is in the middle of nowhere in the center of Siberia. So thank God that's where it happened.